Alex, if you can hear me, I beg that we start the session this afternoon. My end, it's already 4 p.m. and I believe we can start our session. We already have quorum, and I would like to start by welcoming each and every one of us who has managed to make it on call this afternoon. Welcome to the Parenting Seminar, Family Life Network. We always have these seminars every month, every first Sunday of the month. And so we usually have address different topics to empower and equip parents who are raising a generation of young people. So we believe if parents are well equipped, they'll be able to equip their children even better. My name is Anita Malinga, and I'll be one of your hosts together with my colleague, Annabella Habinka, who is with us on call. We would like to start our session this afternoon, and I would like to request you to kindly go to the chat and just tell us and let us know where you are logging in from. Just to get to know where our audience is logging in from, just go to the chat and type in your location or where you are at right about now, so that we know where you guys are logging in from. And as you do that, I'll invite one of us to give us an opening prayer so that we commit our seminar into the hands of God. And please don't hesitate to just reach out to your fellow parents and ask them to come and join us on this call. Yes. Abinka, if you can unmute and lead us through a session of the opening prayer.
Okay, thank you very much, Anita. Let's arm ourselves and we pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you very much for such a wonderful day, a wonderful year, the 2nd of February. Lord, it's not just by chance that we are here, but it's such a wonderful opportunity to be able to commune with you, to commune with the people of God concerning issues of parenting and more so in this AI environment. Come and lead us, come and guide us, protect us. Father, we speak forth accuracy and speed to all the members that are to be here, all the parents, my master, that we will be able to learn more values, more morals and character, that by the time we end, oh God, we will be able to be a role model in our community. In Jesus' mighty name, we have prayed with thanksgiving. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Annabella. And if you don't mind, I see we already have some communication in the chat room, and people are letting us know where they are logging in from. Probably you can just read for us a few of those that have sent in their locations. Just to encourage each one of us, please feel free to just let us know where you are logging in from. Bella, over to you. Just tell us where our good people are logging in.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, on the group, we have quite a number of us. We have Tama, Harono Sembiro. She's logging in from UCU Mukono. Tama, you're most welcome and God bless you. We have John Paul. John Paul is logging in from Perere. Then we have Tony Mwesigye logging in from Chitende. We have Hannah logging in from Malawi. Nora is logging in from Mbuya. We have Janet. Yes, Janet is logging in from Entebbe. My goodness. Yes, Annabella is also here logging in from Gayaza. And we are so excited to be here. Anita, over to you. Where are you logging in from again?
I am logging in from Bunga. I am in Bunga, right here in an area called in an area called what? Kalungu. Kalungu, yes. Bunga Kalungu.
Amazing.
Yes, yes.
Go ahead, please.
Great. I see Alex Mwesigye here logging in near the Prayer Mountain at Seguku. Good to have you, friends. Good to have you on board. Yes, you are most welcome. You are most welcome. Sorry about the feedback. Okay, great. So just some few announcements for us that are joining in. We're excited to let you know that the creative parenting course will be running, and we'll be releasing an advert soon so that you're able to sign up. These seminars happen every first Sunday of the month. And so we'd like to encourage you to just consider them on your calendar so that you don't miss out. But I've also been reliably informed that the men's mentorship program is also almost taking off again anytime soon, and that will be in March. And so for the men on call, you want to look out for the advert when it comes through. I also see Owen, our facilitator for the day, saying he's logging in from Nigeria. Amazing, amazing. So with that said, now that we know where each one of us is, want to welcome our good visitor. I'll call her a visitor from Malawi. Thank you so much for logging in. It's good to have you here as one of us in our audience. Yes. Annabella, I would like you to confirm if Robert is with us on call so that he can come and give us our opening remarks on behalf of the entire fraternity of Family Life Network.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, Anita. Robert, are you over there? In case Robert is not there, we'll invite Alex to take up his role to be able to stand in to handle his session. Alex?
Alex, over to you,
please.
Thank you, Annabella and Anita. Thank you for leading us today. My name is Alex Mwesigye. Remember, thank you for joining us for this month's parent seminar. Like Anita said, we have this every month, and we aim at meeting the needs of the parents. And these meetings are hosted by Family Life Network, that is aimed at destroying morals and values in Uganda. And FN has got many departments or many ministries. And one of them is called the Uganda National Parents Network that hosts these master webinars. And under the Uganda National Parents Network, we do have the parenting courses and the seminars. And the purpose is to raise parents with a new breed of psyche who are able to raise children or youth who are going to build this nation. Parents with values, with morals and character. And talking about the youth program, we have Anita here who heads we call the BANG program. It's called BANG is an acronym for Becoming a New Generation. And I will ask Anita to just tell members more about the BANG program and what is in store and what's happening. But in regards to the Uganda National Parents Network, there's the creative parenting course that's aimed at training parents on parenting, right from 0 age to when the parent is an adult. But also the parenting course goes more than that. It equips the parent to be a responsible citizen in this country in regards to issues that are pressing the society. For example, issues of sexuality, the global agenda, how do you address the issues of policy? Last time we were dealing with the issue of the marriage law. So the parenting course equips you not only to parent your children, but also take on the corporate social responsibility in your nation as a parent. Let me very near talk about the BANG program. and then hand over to you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alex, for that overview of what Family Life Network does. Yes, as we prepare to invite our guest speaker this afternoon or this late evening, the Bank Mentorship Program is a youth mentorship program, and right now it's actually running in 5 higher education institutions. It started it was first established in Makerere until it spread out to the other higher education institutions. But it's also having clubs in secondary schools. Bang in Full is becoming a new generation, and we usually complete that a generation with values, morals, and characters. That is what we're trying to impart in our young people. And we handle quite a number of topics that help to empower and equip our young people with knowledge in those specific areas. Usually the areas we handle are areas that our young people struggle with, areas to do with relationships, sexuality, addiction, and things like that. And so, and much more. We go ahead and equip them with financial literacy skills, entrepreneurship skills, leadership skills, and so much more. And so in the different higher education institutions, these clubs meet together, and usually they have a mentor and facilitator with them, equipping and empowering them and preparing them for the world. And so that is it about Bang. Right now we are running an online Bang mentorship program for the young people, and we have over 60 young people going through the curriculum, the Bang curriculum, and they will be completing in the next 4 weeks. So that is where we are with Bang, and together with Family Life Network, that is what we wake up to every single day. With that said, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce to us our facilitator for this afternoon, and is none other than Mr. Owen Mwesigye. Mr. Owen Mwesigye. Now the topic this afternoon, as you've all seen on the flyer, is really talking about the digital, how our young people are parenting in the digital age. How are we parenting our young people as they use these gadgets, in this digital age? And so Owen Mwesigye is an expert in that area, and we've been with him before. He's coming in again just to help us understand what is happening. I for one, I was looking at the statistics of digital addiction across the globe and how people are struggling with it, and the numbers are just, the numbers are just out of this world. And so we ourselves as parents, it's possible that we could be also facing this addiction, but our children could be, facing it in a worse, way. And so Mr. Owen Mwesigye is a digital marketing, media, and communications expert, serving as a managing director at Redwall Limited. Redwall is a sustainable marketing and ICT firm in Kampala. Now, beyond his formal role, he's also a dedicated advocate for digital citizenship, focusing on helping children thrive in the digital age while staying safe from digital risks and harm. So what he does most of the time is that he trains parents, children, educators, and other stakeholders on effective ways to nurture responsible digital citizens. And so I want to thank you, Mr. Owen Mwesigye, for always making time to come and help parents understand what is happening in the digital spaces so that we can, parent our children even better. And so I'd like to invite you now to take up the session. You're welcome.
Thank you. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, you are loud and clear.
Yes, you're loud and clear.
Thank you so much. A pleasure being here, and every time Family Life Network calls in, I know it's an opportunity to do one of the purposes why God put me on this earth, specifically at this time. And made sure that as I do my education for university, start with IT, along the way divert to marketing, along the way divert to media and communications. And in the last over 10, 12 years, that has been my journey. Having studied IT, then see how IT can be used as a tool in businesses, in homes. I practiced it. I still do. Then along the way, my passion for marketing led me to see how technology can also be used effectively as a marketing tool. Then the last 2 years, I've been working with Church of Uganda Family TV as the head of programs and marketing. And that also gave me an opportunity to know more about how best can you create content that the whole family can enjoy as one, and without any fear of what is that can, when you're there and you have your granddaughter or daughter and a scene goes on, or a song goes on TV, you don't need to tell them to first go and fetch for you water. So it's been quite an experience. And in those 2 years, the hunger to do more on how do we protect our young ones from the harm that comes with technology, but also how do we help them to thrive in this digital age? Because as we are not going to go back. No, we are in the digital age. Social media came in 2010. Now AI, generative AI, is taking center stage from 2018, around there. So we are not going back. So the idea is, how do we keep our young ones safe in this great new age? So it's a pleasure being here. I'm glad, and I'm seeing numbers are coming in. And I'm glad that Family Life Network called me in. I prepared a PowerPoint just for sharing purposes, to have clear things and to be more articulate, which I'm going to share with us. Let me try to put it up. So, like has been said, I now do private enterprise. I'm in still the same field, but under Red Wall. Basically, we look at sustainable marketing. So on a daily basis, I feed technology and media. So I would be glad to see how that impacts our lives. So before we get much, I always want to give a brief info of what has happened. I know everyone is talking about parenting in the tech era, AI era, but what was parenting before tech came in, before AI came in? What was parenting? And that usually starts as my sharing point. And it's brief to know that before 2010, and why we use 2010 is because 2010 brought in the idea of social media, where interactions, where communications, where communities became more crowd-based or internet-based than physical. So we saw a shift from where family gatherings that used to happen face-to-face every Christmas or every Sunday. Now people have Zoom, like even now we are using Zoom to make sure we have this seminar. So technology came into, and social platforms, to make life much easier so that people can connect while on the go. However, it also meant that the generation of play-based parenting went on reducing, because it gave a comfort of parents and guardians to know that I can talk to my child whenever I can, as long as there is a WhatsApp. I can do a WhatsApp video call, I can make a phone call, and more so, new tools of distraction came in play. A time when parents would, for example, tell kids to go and play with their kids soccer or any other active participatory game. Now, the different games were digitalized. Now kids sit for long hours playing FIFA, different PlayStations, and along the way, what we used to call as play-based parenting, where physical activities dominated childhood and taught them skills like resilience, socializing, many others, where the whole body, heart, and mind were evolved, and hands were evolved, saw a shift. Now, 2010, we saw now people, including us, the parents, highly dependent on screens and social media. And this made saw a shift from what you call play-based parenting to screen-based parenting, where most, if you see these different photos, you might find you can easily gauge where your family sits. Is it on the play-based, on the screen-based? And now we are in 2020 plus, and we are seeing the wave of AI coming in. Social media has already done enough harm or enough shift in our mode of parenting. Now AI is coming in to unite with digital spaces like social media to make life a little more challenging to navigate for a traditional parent. So that being said, we find out now that we know that we have a digital, what we call digital natives, or we have digital citizens, what is that they are missing out? From the play-based, what is your child and my child missing out for not playing soccer in a community playground or spaces with their fellow kids? For choosing to play chess on a phone rather than playing chess on a physical board with a fellow kid or parent or whatever? For choosing to engage a lot, socialize with the online community rather than socializing with a physical community? Could be fellow kids at school, could be the relatives, could be village mates. What is our child missing out for being more hours indoor behind the wall fences and our houses here in Kampala and town centers than actually knowing who the neighbor is and who the kids are and playing with them? So one, we saw recently Ministry of Education together with the UNICEF, that was last year, launching the play-based learning. Now, play-based learning means that they are trying to go back what we used to do. If you remember, we used to, while at school, they would send us to make sure that we bring banana fibers, create, for example, those local, soccer balls, do maths, go to swamps, get these reeds and do maths, many other things that we do to learn through play. So we find out that our child is missing out that meaningful play, where, for example, children will play, would basically the play life was meaningful to them. And when children play to make sense of the world around them and find learning experiences, you'll find at least you would learn one or two things from these physical activities that we're doing while learning. Then also we realized that the joy that came with the community being together, playing together, kids playing together, running around the compound, actively participating, that joy that comes is now soaked before the blue screen or phones. So you find that your daughter or son chooses to be on their phone, maybe creating a TikTok, watching TikTok, rather than finding the joy in the real activities. So you'll find that the laughter is less, the laughing is less, the smiling, maybe if it's there, no one can smile back because literally you're smiling at a funny TikTok video. And of course, along the way, this has a mental, physical, emotional effect on our kids. And also, play is effectively engaging, where you find that when kids are actively involved, their body is involved, their mind is involved, their speaking is involved. We've seen so many kids nowadays finding it difficult. The new studies show that actually the new children take longer to speak because literally they are not interacting verbally with fellow humans, fellow people. They are basically interacting with cartoons and all that. And when they do, you find they can easily do the speaking, but they don't understand what they are saying in their real meaning because they missed out other aspects of brain development at their early age. And play being interactive, like I said, kids learn key skills of sympathy, new challenges, new hurdles. They miss all this because the play-based parenting has shifted. And we need to know if this was the parenting that we got and gave us some qualities that are beyond what digital screens can give us. How do we blend the play-based parenting within the digital age? And I believe this whole seminar, this whole discussion rotates around this. How do we bridge the gap in the what we call traditional parenting or play-based parenting into the digital age? The other second question is, how do we embed values, value-based parenting into an age where we see more or less of values because content is scattered everywhere. Your child can access anything, anytime, anywhere, as long as they have internet. So we get this background to understand where are we coming from and where are we heading. Now, we look at the digital landscape. We are looking at 5.2 billion of 5.52 billion worldwide internet users on social media. What does this mean? Around 65+% of internet users around the world. Basically, right now, if you want to understand, is that internet users, including social media, those people on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. So Facebook, by last year, they were at 3.3 billion active users. Those who search the web, they are now, as per November 2024, at 5.52 billion internet users. Now, 65+% is on social media, meaning that is the community. We are talking about the largest world, the largest community in the world. This community brings in the 7 continents around the world, 195 countries, over 3,000 diverse cultures, tribes, and beliefs. And all of them, with their beliefs, with their norms, with their thinking, with their capabilities, can be accessed in the palm of our hands. Meaning right now I can choose to learn how Chinese dish is prepared and I will learn it in an instant because I will get it. The content is available. I would want to learn what Hindu culture is, and I will choose to worship Hindu or their way of worship rather than the Christian way of worshiping. And now that creates that there are no rules that are going to stop your child or stopping you as an adult to go and learn this. Neither are there rules that are going to stop anyone who wants to groom your child into their beliefs, into their culture. You won't stop it, because literally all it takes is have a few MBs on your phone and they can access anything. And there are no regulators. Even when we say there are no regulators, yes, we have policies, we have leaders, Ministry of ICT, UCC, but we've seen that even when they've recently saying that they are banning songs like Okwe Pitch or whatever, but the songs are still there on internet and they're still playing. Even some radios are still playing them. So we opened up, we closed our homes with walls and fences, but opened our families to the online community through these technologies, social media, of 5.22 billion people. So what does this mean? It means that in your home, you think you have 6 people, your children and house help, yourselves as parents, but literally before your TV, you have millions and billions with your smart TVs. Before your phone, you also have a community that is part of us, that is influencing our children in terms of values and beliefs, more than even those that you're protecting them with your walls. That's what the digital landscape is doing to the traditional settings. Now, we'll talk of AI. Basically, for us to understand AI, AI is designed, look at it as our technology is inspired by human intelligence. It's just a set of technologies. It's not like one cup that is, you say you're holding a cup and you're holding AI. No, and AI has been there. They look at the mind. How do you think? How do you feel? How do you like? How do you process your thought process? Now, they've come up with different technologies that can bring it to that. For example, if you are a specialist in accounting, they ask yourself, how do you do your accounting books? How is it done? Now, they look at you, human process in terms of if you're an accountant, and they will create AI technologies to help in doing accounting the way a human being does. If you look at health and they say you want to know how do I easily, for example, measure your heartbeat. I know some of you have things like smartwatches that you go jogging, they tell you today you've walked 1,000 steps. Now that is all AI integrated within different tools based on human intelligence. Now, some of us think that AI is a new thing. AI goes as way back as 1952, where the first AI checker program, you know the checker game, drafts, some of us know it as draft, was done. So this guy, the checker, designed a game that along the way continued to improve itself based on how many times different players were playing and winning it. And along the way in 1997, we saw the first NBI's Deep Blue AI game in chess beat the world best, that is Gary. This is all AI, has been there, but with the new wave of generative AI, where it brings in ChatGPT, this is because this one comes into based on natural language modeling too. We interacted with more. For example, it gave us an opportunity that for you to use these robotics or technologies, you don't need to be, for example, advanced in medicine, in processing plants or factories. We use it in our phones and they generate content as we need it, text, images, videos, just from simple prompts. You prompt it and the AI generates what you would have done, taken you a week can be done now in less than 5 minutes. So AI has been evolving throughout since through 1992, now 2005. And the bit is that when you look at it, and the scary bit about it is that it has the capacity, right from the deep learning, machine learning, the way it has been evolving, it has the capacity to improve itself to what we call general AI. Now we are at generative AI, the ChatGPTs and DeepSync and DALL-E, Midjourneys. Now, beyond what we are feeding these AI tools, it has the capacity soon or later, even they say right now, we saw Elon Musk saying that all user-generated capabilities that we could ever, or data inputs we could ever feed AI, we've already exhausted it. Now AI is in the process of regenerating to see the information we've given it, what else can we evolve into. So the scary bit and uncertainty bit of AI is that no one knows what its future can be. No one knows if tomorrow it can develop its own conscience and generate and transform what has been created into something bigger and better because of that capacity of singularity where it can regenerate itself to be better than it was created to be. So that's the little bit of AI landscape. And when you look into it, I'll basically focus on generative AI, what most of us use on a daily basis. And I will give us a little statistics that are saying, let's say 7% of devices being used around the world have a form of AI. Like I said, you have a smartphone, a smart watch that tells you how your body is performing, your heartbeat and all that. That's AI enabled. You have phones that you're using, voice recording, voice recognition. You reply to it and then it can know this is your face. If you have an iPhone, you unlock with your face, that is AI. So almost as we grow, you find that almost above, even as AI, generative AI and other AI technologies come in, almost all smart technologies have a bit of AI in them. So, and they also say that 9 out of 10 organizations support AI for competitive advantage. What does this mean? It means that as time goes by, as parents, we need to understand where do we fall as far as our job security is concerned. What can AI do? If, for example, you're a researcher, you are a content creator, you are any other thing, you're even a doctor, but they're bringing in AI tools that can do works of 50 people as a single tool or a single robot. Now that's where the future is. And 9 out of 10 organizations support the fact that they need to adjust their operations. I remember when, even in media, where we are, it becomes easier to lay off people because you know that one AI literate, for example, content creator can do work of 4 people because of these AI tools. So it's important to know at the back of our minds that as much as we are worried about kids, we also need to be worried how AI survey, how AI literate are we? Are we preparing ourselves for the next 10 years as a parent? Do you see your job there? Because AI tools are coming. So the only way to do is think about how do I learn this AI and integrate in my day-to-day life. Like when they brought computers, I'm sure those who used to typewriters were scared, how is it going to happen? But computers came and we adjusted to learn computer programs and how they operate. And now we are using them in everyday work, office. It's actually a need for every job that is being recruited. Now, AI is one of those other things that you have to put on your skills as time goes by. Then they also that AI is projected to contribute over 15.7 trillion global economy by 2030. That's how powerful. I know you've been following up the story of DeepSync and ChatGPT, how this Chinese DeepSync came in and caused storm over the global economy. That's how impactful AI is going to determine what is sold, how it's sold, and how we live. They say by end of 2025, this very year, AI might eliminate 65 million jobs. Question is, how are we going to, us as parents, and also as the kids we are grooming to go into the job market, how are we preparing them to make sure that they don't survive the AI elimination job spree? Then they also look at adaptation, like we said, 63% of organizations intend to adopt AI in the next 3 years. The shocking bit is that 88% of non-users are unclear on how generative AI will impact their lives. Like most of us, we don't know. We hear AI is like as though it's a certain god somewhere. But the honest truth is AI, small god in a way, because for those who are addicted to it, we know that it can make things much easier than anything that we can imagine. So in a way, we shall look at it as that one critical skill that you need to survive in this world. I know human element will always be needed, but what needed 20 humans now might need around 5. And that's what AI brings on board. I saw something when they were arguing about Trump and immigrants. They're saying, how are we going to replace our house helps? Who are the people going to work in our shambas if you deport all the people, illegal immigrants in America? And the Republicans said we shall employ robots to do their work. That's how hard things are. So, and also only a third of consumers think they are using AI platforms, when actually, the actual usage is around 77%. The first 7 should have been 77% of devices. So basically, this is what AI does. And if you are here and you're a parent and you find yourself you're a researcher, there are certain AI, generative AI tools that you can use. If you deal a lot with text proposals and all that, they're also in there. If you're in IT and coding, there are different, many AI tools like you see in this very circle that has different, if you're in marketing, sales, it has different professionals and where you can use them. So I believe that in one or another, it becomes an urgent and very critical position for us as parents, one, to know how does AI impact you as an individual at this very level. And this could be into how you use AI in your general life, in your home, at your workplace. But also, we look at the other side of how do we prepare our children in this world of technology, this world of AI, to make sure that they are competitive, but most importantly, they stay safe in this world that we opened up of 5.56 billion people. So that becomes a crucial question for any parent out there. The threat of AI and technology is not only on your children, it's also on you as a parent in terms of job security, in terms of relevance of your jobs, in terms of even you, because tech is addictive, like we are going to see there in front. And that becomes one of those things that I want us to keep in mind as we go through this. But along the way, what we must know is that AI and technology are simply tools. They are designed to be used. However, the marketing side of it is that these tools have been gamified. They have been enhanced enough to make sure that they will become as addictive as possible so that the creators gain as much money as they can. So they call it weaponizing a good tool. The tool can do good, but can also has its own potential effects that we shall be seeing along the way. Now, having seen that, I want us to navigate through the challenges quickly and the opportunities that come up with AI, social media, and tech. I know this photo might relate to most of you in your homes. You're all supposed to be in home, it's full house, you're all happy, but happy alone. Everyone is their own gadgets. The kid is on their EduTab. A teenager is playing their PlayStation. Mom is perhaps on TikTok or learning cooking lessons. Your teenage daughter is on selfies, social media, looking for social approval. And perhaps the dad's taking work at home. That is what a modern home looks like. Sad as it is, but it's very true. So I'll tell you a story. And this is a real story of one Scot who has a daughter, a kindergarten going daughter. And while at school, they told them to draw a picture of their family. Now, the daughter saw it wise along the way. And when she came home, came screaming, "Hey, mommy, I drew Alexa too." She says, "I love you" on her screen. Now, Alexa is an Amazon virtual assistant. Look at it as a tool that most tech survey homes or improved nations use to do there. For example, you can come in and say, control smart homes and say, "Alexa, put on the lights," and it will do. It will integrate into the lighting system and it will put on the lights. "Alexa, play for me this music," like the way you use Siri on your phone, but this one is more used in homes and offices to make sure it makes life a little easier. So Alexa is this AI-enabled tool that's virtual assistant. It takes in voice recognition's commands, and these commands can make life easier. So when this daughter of Scott was told to draw a family picture like you see it on your right, Bambi, the innocent kid, who is Alexis, drew the entire family and added Alexa as part of the family. Now, the mother, being her, was left stunned and wondering, how did Lexi end up placing Alexa as part of family, because the instruction from school was simple: draw a picture of your family. But the kid interpreted Alexa as one of those because he speaks back. On the screen has "I love you," can speak "I love you" back. They say, "Alexa, play for me this music," and it will select the music and play it for them while they're at home. Weather forecast, so many other things that this tool, AI-powered tool, can do. Now, to the mother, she had never thought that Alexa can be part of family. For her, she was looking at Alexa as one tool that they are using in their homes to make sure life is easy. And it's a simple tool. Those who can Google it, it's a simple, more of like you see the boom boxes. That's how small it can be. Then, but to the daughter, who is Lexi, Lexis looked at Alexa not just an Amazon virtual assistant or a tool or an equipment, looked at it as part of their family member, just like their dog, Zuma. So indeed, their home wasn't about these three. It was about the dog and then this AI-powered tool. Now, one thing that is clear out of this very story, if you want, the link is in here, where the story lady shared her story, is that for children who interact with these technologies on a daily basis, they personify their experiences. They look at these phones, at these games as parts of their daily lives. So it becomes so hard for you to think that time will come along the way and they will cease to look at these tools of technology or these AIs you're bringing in our homes in a different way. We are in a time where even people have gone as far as to get artificial wives, artificial husbands in terms of the sexualities, Samantha and all those. These are AI-powered sexual tools for men. And they're on the market and they're being sold. So along the way, technology is reshaping our culture, behavior, and meaning of what family is. And for a parent, you might not understand this, but I want you to understand, for example, your kids have been in holiday. If your kid has been having internet and in this 3 months holiday has been spending around 6 hours a day, or let's say 8 hours a day, times was it 3 months or 2 months? Maybe times 60 days. That is around 68 hours spent on internet and phone, interacting with whatever their interests are. Question is, isn't it easier for this kid to adapt to whatever the world gives? So it's important for you as a parent not to just assume that your child understands that technology is a tool as how you brought it, that this phone is simply a tool. On these phones now we have websites that have come up with chatbots which are given names. You log in and it will say, Owen, welcome back. It has been a while. How can I help you? And this chatbot, you chat and with it whichever way, and before you know it, every day you feel without the help of this call in maybe another Mwesigye on the other side who's a chatbot, you can't work. And we are personifying the experiences of technology. Now, basing on where you belong, be rest assured that AI is coming to be integrated in that very field, whether you're in legal, whether you're in travel, real estate, fashion, agriculture, anywhere, different industries, AI has a role to play at any level. Let it be in automation, data analysis, predictive analysis, personalization, natural language processing, images, and all that risk management. I saw LinkedIn coming up with an HR AI, so soon human resource officers might not be needed as many in organizations. Our marketing, there are marketing tools now that you can program and you don't need content creation. I go on Gamma, I go on Canva, we create things. That's how much is impacting our lives. Now, to understand the risk, I want you, if I'm allowed, I want to play for you a video before we go to understanding the risk. This video is, am I still? Yes. Can we see this video?
Not yet. Do you want to first unshare? Then you enable your sound, then open the clip.
Okay, I've opened. Can you see it now?
Yes, we can see it now.
I
Go
want
ahead.
us to go to listen to this video before we go to the addictive risks.
Do you want to share your sound, please? We can't hear the sound.
You can't hear the sound, eh?
No, just go and share your sound.
Okay, please. Share. My audio. Uh, is it in now? Is the sound in?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh,
Have you gone to your settings and tried to share?
I've gone to settings.
Owen,
Share sound. Okay, I've seen here stereo.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Is it in now?
The concept is pretty simple. Parents prank their kids by unplugging the child.
Is it?
Yes, it's now loud and clear. Kindly just
Okay.
take
Child's
it
video
back
game
for the
console in the middle of gameplay. The concept is pretty simple. Parents prank their kids by unplugging the child's video game console in the middle of gameplay, and the reactions are viral gold.
I'm getting away! Stop! Stop!
No one likes to be forced to stop having fun, but something different is happening here. If you were to take away a child's books or Legos, you're not likely to get a reaction like this. So what's going on here? Why are these meltdowns so dramatic?
I've treated a number of children over years who struggle with problematic video game behaviors. I think one of the most important things to keep in mind is that the child will be able to tell you, I'm trying to not do this, but I can't stop. And I can't get myself to stop. I don't want to behave this way, but I'm struggling.
Why did you do that? That was my game to get into the Overwatch League. You literally just ruined it.
According to Dr. Milham, these reactions aren't necessarily because of an addiction to gaming. Instead, what we witness in these videos are children who are victims of their own biology.
Being able to tolerate the feeling of frustration or that moment of sadness when you decide I'm not going to continue doing this, that is crucial.
One of the reasons the children in these videos find it so hard to control themselves is because they don't yet have a fully developed prefrontal cortex.
The prefrontal cortex is a key component in the brain that's involved in helping us to control impulses and urges. When you have something like the video game being turned off suddenly, the child is faced with having to feel those negative emotions.
Another factor is dopamine, which is often referred to as the brain's pleasure chemical, because it's associated with feelings of euphoria, motivation, and concentration.
Dopamine is a key component of regulating reward mechanisms in the brain. The stimulation we receive from playing a video game impacts the same pathways that are present when one is becoming intoxicated with a substance. So it's no surprise that many of the behaviors and reactions that we see for a child who's struggling with having this sudden stop brought about in their video game playing has analogs to someone who is being asked to stop usage of a substance.
Let's say a child is about to eat a piece of candy. The anticipation of eating that candy gives the child a spike of dopamine. Then their parent yanks that candy away from them. That action will cause a drop in dopamine, which will upset the child. Video game designers have gotten remarkably adept at keeping gamers entranced with a steady source of intermittent rewards. More rewards means a constant stream of dopamine released into the brain throughout gameplay. So when a parent pulls the plug on a child's video game, there's an even more powerful effect.
Video games are inherently designed to be stimulating and exciting and to draw us in, and that to some degree is a healthy phenomenon. It's just that for some it's more difficult to control than for others. Is the video game somehow impairing their ability to function in the home, at school, or with other children? If we're not seeing any problematic behaviors and it's just concern about the frequency, then I think we can work on just trying to bring the frequency down.
For many households across the country, meltdowns over video games are a very real part of everyday life. Parents we have spoken with say they find themselves in a battle of wills with their children when they tell them to turn off a video game and do homework, eat dinner, or go to bed. Dr. Milham recommends implementing 2 basic rules. Number 1, establish clear and consistent rules about the days and time of gameplay. Number 2, enforce a transition period between gameplay and bedtime. Dr. Milham also recommends that parents be wary of an underlying problem. Games may just be a coping mechanism.
One of the most important things is to really curb the video game playing and monitor it and put interventions in place before it's a problem. Once the video game playing becomes a problem, at that point, parents will probably need to seek guidance from whether it be therapists, counselors, or other care providers in order to help to assess and deal with the challenges at hand.
So basically, that is a snapshot just of video gaming. But in reality, almost all tools now that we use, social media, and because of AI, have been gamified. That's why they count for your number of followers you're shaving, who has liked your photo, how can you reach more content, your content reach more people, because all these platforms have been AI powered to make sure they can profile users and get more out of it. But why I shot that video is that those reactions of those kids are simply pointers of how addictive technology is, and clearly bring out the idea of how it affects our mind process. The dopamine effect that it brings in, which is the same amount as someone who smokes cocaine or weed or any other addictive substance called alcohol. Now, that's someone who uses screen time and technology a lot, mostly the blue screens, faces the same impact as others. Now, to fully understand what digital risks are, we phrase them in two forces. First is content. What is that you and your children are watching? Now, since you're talking of the risks, you're looking at the other side, the bad side of it. And it's a choice at a certain age of where our parents is our responsibility to at least supervise what these kids watch and know their digital experiences, which is contrary to us, because the research that UCC did in 2020 shows that 8 out of 10 parents are not in any way aware of how their children spend their time while on internet or using these digital platforms. So we look at the content. Is it adult content? Is it violent? Is it violent? Is it discriminatory? Is it hateful? Is it fake news that they are believing in? Is it content that promotes risky and unhealthy behaviors? Remember, your kid on internet or that TikTok is exposed to. If you're on Facebook, that is 3 meta apps, 3.3 billion. But generally, that is around 5.22 on social media. Billion people, different cultures. So the content that is put up, and this content, anyone can create their own content. People have different views of who God is. People have different views on what families are, what setup they make. Have different views even on basic questions like who is God, or who is a father, who is a mother. Can I marry? Recently, I was in one of the schools having these sessions that I was called to, and that her teacher said she was shocked when and this is an international school, very few students, and they called me to talk to their parents, and she said that one of the students asked, is it okay to date a fellow girl? Now, it's a school with few people, but she kept on wondering, and that was the reason why actually I was called in to talk to the parents. And I wondered how many are those other children that have never come up and I'm not bold enough to ask. But when they found out that for almost every movie that this kid had seen, there is a homosexuality, LGBTQ powered couples in there. If it's a series, it is in there. And now it's even, look at all blockbuster secular movies, these content are in there. Without them, you might not even appear on the board or even get funders. That's how crucial it is. So it becomes more important to understand the content. It's the point of contact, basically. Now, when you've done that, there's the other side of contact. Remember, this is an online community. What a community does, people talk to each other, they text each other, they send videos to each other, they have meetings like we're having. We're now a whole community, we're having a contact with each other. And during that time, you'll find risks like child trafficking. We've seen incidences where a kid was here in Entebbe, was sent a text to go to a tax stage and pick something, and reaching there, something, there were the guys who were waiting for them and was taken up and over a phone. There is discriminatory abuse, hate speech, grooming. Grooming is where kids are groomed into having, for example, like sexting, grooming it into whatever you want, basically sexual exploitation and all that. There's harassment, radicalization. Recently, we found out that there is research that says that most of the radical extremists are now being groomed on the dark web. Web that you as a parent might never know it is there, but kids are more tech savvy than you. They go on this, even if you searched for it, you won't find it. But they are there, they're being radicalized to be as much as they can be. You saw the Gen Z protests in Kenya, part of it was fully orchestrated online, and many others. Blackmails, sexual unwanted advances, and many others. That is contact. It's a community, people talk to each other. The funny thing is, even you who are on social media, I have over 5.5K followers on Facebook, but I hardly know even 1% of those people physically. But we interact, people say hi, contacted your comment, that is contact. Now, the other third C is conduct. When you've watched the content, you've contacted these people, how do you conduct yourself? That's where I find people bullying each other, you put up, and people are blunt on, they can tell you anything on Facebook or these social media platforms. We've seen old people have to leave these social platforms because of the bullying that happens, cyberbullying. Sexting, we've seen young girls being told to send photos of their private parts, and they innocently do. And before you know it, it becomes revenge porn, where they start being threatened. If you don't do this, I'm going to release. Even adults, we are culprits of this. Then threats and intimidation, reputation management. Before you know it, a fake video has gone out there generated by AI. And before you clear your name out, anyone will say anything. And part of it will believe it, part of it will not. Reputations are being damaged. Impersonations, we've seen people who, prove to be who they are. All I need is put my photo on the profile and I start chatting with you. And before you know it, you've sent me money, you've done things that you shouldn't be doing. Impulsive use, cybercrime, gambling, all this is part of it. That is the conduct that comes after you've watched the content, contacted people behind the content, and they are now influencing the conduct. The contract is the other side most of us never want to mind about, but I would empower all parents and gadget owners to think about the contracts. You've seen these things of sign up, agree, accept, and you simply accept because you want to get this up. Those are all contracts, meaning whatever terms are in there. Tomorrow, if your child or yourself, you're defrauded of your money or anything, you signed a contract saying you accept the application to access photos, your contacts, and everything on your phone without knowing what the implications are. So be mindful knowing that every single thing that you're putting, it's a contract. There's also the other side of copyright and other things that I might not go into. But fully, the forces scale is the international recognized of understanding the digital risk. It's in content, the conduct, contact, and then the contracts that we sign whenever we are signing up for these. Here, they say they are going to use your content or information for marketing, things like that. And all those are contracts that we sign unknowingly. Now, quickly, I will go through some of the facts. What do they say about these risks? We're talking about dictorisk, the video that we saw. Find a child, they say an average child spends around 4 to 6 hours a day, if not untamed. And for the schools I've been to, kids are open to tell you they can even skip meals to watch their favorite movie. So if they are not told, for example, the days you're not there and you've left the kids with only the nannies, is the most probability that they, when you leave, they go on screen and go off when you come. They eat from there, things like that. Those are 9 hours if they are not regulated. Now, like we saw, screens are addictive in nature. The applications that we interact with have been gamified. Gamified means that they have games in them. They have rewards. Rewards have been put in them. Second, they profile our likes. So if I like TikTok and I watch soccer, every time I go, they will bring what I like. So it becomes more addictive. And what that does is the dopamine effect, which has been explained in the video that I shared. And it's the same effect that a substance user has. Meaning along the way, we are going to see the emotional, social, and physical effects manifesting on screen addicts the same way they manifest on drugs of abuse users or cocaine. They also that 80% of parents of 3 to 8-year-old are worried. This was in India, but even here, right here, if you talk to 5 parents, if not 100%, they're worried. One, because they don't know how to deal with the whole digital addictions thing, but also kids are more conversant with this thing than them. Then they look at, if you look at World Health Organization, it recommends that a child below 2 shouldn't even be spending even 30 minutes on a screen. But we have now parents who, when a kid cries, they give them their phones, even when they are 6 months. What is a kid brain getting from a surface learning screen? Nothing. Literally, the brain is not actually looking for the screen. It is looking for things to stimulate the entire body and mind to grow. No wonder that's why they say let little kids take long to speak, because of screen addiction issues at an early age and exposure to that. Then overstimulation of AI-driven content. Like I told you, now AI has been integrated into social media. So it can profile you, it knows what you like, what you dislike, what you spend more time on, more seconds on, and it's what it will recommend to you over and over. And that creates a loop of entertainment. That's why the videos that are longer and longer is entertaining. If you give Alex here to watch a movie of 2 hours, he will watch and tell you what has happened. But if you give an 8-year-old, 12-year-old teenager to watch a movie, they will tell you I would rather watch 1 minute of TikTok videos because it's what is entertaining, what is looping. What that causes low attention span within our children. And along the way, you find that it becomes so hard for them to concentrate because these AI-driven tools and social platforms are reconditioning and reprogramming their concentration span because their interests in likes are now in shorter spans than longer spans. And along the way, high risks of screen addiction, losing focus, real-life activities, friendships. You find your child in the corner alone and you're wondering, and you're like, oh, my kid is an introvert. He's not an introvert. Your kid is addicted to those screens and needs help, and you can only be the one to give help. Quality time erosion and disruption of human growth, learning curve. Like I said, screens do surface learning. You're not interacting beyond you and the screen. Playtime, play-based learning involves the whole body participating, the mind, the hands, everything. Now, that is the natural way of how human learning curve is. Also, there's been an explosion of content. Kids now know a lot of things for their age. And the problem is the mind is only fully developed after 25 years by research and biologically. Now, an 8-year-old who is given all this kind of content in their palms and they have access to it, their mind is not well empowered to make sure that they can filter and decide on what content is right, what is wrong, how can it impact their lives. No wonder we have people who have confusing identities. They don't know whether they are global citizens, they're Ugandans, culture has been eroded. Now, age-inappropriate content, you find that 90% of children between 8 and 16 have seen online pornographic content. An average of child sees 12,000 violent acts of television annually. Such a kid will only grow up thinking that fighting is our only solution. Take an example why the protests lately are highly influenced by kids' lives. Teenagers are the ones that are leading protests on screens, banning, rooting. Some of these things might not directly be put to social media and the things we see, but the truth is we've seen many action movies, we've seen violent scenes all our lives, and all we think is where dialogue is not, you fight. They've attributed gun violence in America in school by school kids to the games they play. So it's important to understand and be more conscious. Then UCC survey said that 1 in every 5 children has seen a sexual image. Now it should be even more because this was during COVID. Apparently, we need God to help us. Sexual nudity is a new thing. It is played on TVs in terms of what we call soft pornography, where musicians are putting on all kinds of things, and that is it. And that is acceptable, that is what is trending. It has gone beyond the visual to the words that even the lyrics now are off. You will hear Kwepicha, you hear Enkudi, those things, and you wonder where we are going. And these are played day in, day out, morning hours, evening hours. And that's why UCC was putting up a regulation that such content should be put up. But one day we're in this conference and the content creator said, morals don't bring food on the table. And one person might learn to say that maybe she was right. She said, I don't eat your morals. What feeds me is what I put out there and people book me perform on their events. And those who book me want me semi-nude, want me almost naked. So the balance of need to survive and need to protect our society needs to be put in act. 8 out of 10 parents are not involved in their children online experiences. I already mentioned that. It's shocking, but we need to improve. You won't control what you don't know. So you need to understand, how are your kids spending their little time you spend, you give them the phone, where do they go, what do they watch, before it comes too late. How many of you have ever played this game? If you don't, this is a checker. It's one of the checkers that are many. I played this game. First time to interact with it was when I was learning computer around senior 4. This is one of those games that every boy used to play. Now, later on at campus, it was one of those games, 2007 there. Every boy would first install on their computer. But the reason was not playing drafts or this checker. The idea is that every time you'd win this AI-powered game, this girl would remove one of the things until she's completely naked. Now, this is how games can also be integrated with age-inappropriate content and call it grooming. This is a game that is grooming us to be sexually attracted to men, women. Because assume I'm at campus, I've played this game, and after playing it, a girl comes into my room to check on me. What would I be in my mind? And this is real life, because personally I interacted with it, I know the game. But this was 2004. 2004, around there. That was the first time I got to it, and I would play it from a computer lab, which was in a school, and this was a primary school. How was it installed in there? I don't know. But later at campus, I would also interact with the same game. So before you know it, you have sexual addicted people, and ideally the boy is in here. So you ask yourself, the games that your child play, if you don't know them, are they safe? Cyberbullying, this is, most Africans don't care about it, but the truth is we have so many, we need to be worried. Like we said, we are in a generation of digital citizens. If we don't care about how people interact in these communities, becomes so strong tomorrow when your kids can't handle being on the online community because they're harassed there, or they don't want to go to school because the one who was, there's a group, one of the schools here in Kampala also had gone for these dictatorship trainings. And the kids said there's one bully on their WhatsApp group. This is a school, kids went in, created a group where all of them were there. And along the way, they started sharing different things about different people. And before you know it, the kid didn't want to go to school because the whole school had gang up on her on a WhatsApp group that the administration didn't even know about. That's how serious things are. Online sexual harassment, 80% of children in 25 countries report feeling in danger of sexual abuse and exploitation. This is very true. If you want to know, I'll give you a story of some parents I've talked to over this very holiday, and they are worried. Kids asking, can you send me the photo? No, that photo is not good enough, blah, blah. On Facebook itself and Instagram, over 100,000 children are sexually harassed every day. That's the reason why Facebook has not, up to today, still in these US lawsuits, ever in the parliament explain how to safeguard this. Recently, they released Instagram for teenagers at 14 years, below 14 years. It was one of proactive saying, let's safeguard. But that's how unsafe social media is for teenagers and children. However, most parents go ahead, create these very accounts for an 8-year-old, and you wonder why. Data privacy. Most of you are in the era of fintech. You're paying through banks, you're earning through banks, phone applications and all that, but the same phones you're giving them to your children, they access, touch wherever they touch. Now, you'll get to know that data breaches are serious. Your information is going to be leaked. We have new ones now on WhatsApp. People are busy looking for money through unique safe word links. And before you know it, all your WhatsApp data is bleached. Now in Facebook, 2021, 533 million Facebook users were hacked, and all the information and whatever they had done on Facebook was released. Ask yourself, with this new WhatsApp hacking that is happening, how much data is being lost? Almost now every day on different groups, we see those links being shared and there is a victim. A new data or research should be done, and we see what are the new updates. And the funny thing is that most humans research, most data breaches are due to human errors. That is 95%. Now, for those, if you want to know it in real context, for those who click on those links that they share on WhatsApp, those are the human errors. So if that link came when your child is having, and remember on WhatsApp, you access it as an adult. But on these platforms where these kids are, these links come as recommendations. They don't even choose. Some of them don't know how to navigate through them. And you think your data is safe, your passwords are safe. So before you know it, you'll blame the bank when your account is wiped clean. And these attacks in the world, that was 2023, they said 493 million cyber attacks occurred on the internet. So it's important as you go to be a digital survey in banking, in what? Mind about your data. Those are some of the risks that are here. Misinformation. This one I can't observe. Now with AI, people create. You've seen photos of the Pope smoking and dancing. That is AI. Some people can't even tell the difference. You've seen tweets being re-engineered. All that is social media. We can't run away from it, but it's important that we are aware how do we equip our children to be more critical thinkers, and they audit whatever they see. Now, as I go towards the end, my time has only 1 minute to get done, but I request for at least 5 minutes, I'll be done. How do you become a guardian of child safety? We've seen these risks with AI and technology coming in play. 1, create a family tech covenant. Most parents are being lenient about this, but I can tell you the truth. The only reason we are discussing about this is because you are all worried about the level of moral decay. Most of you have surrendered parental guidance. Now we are on media influence. Our children look more of what they watch every day than what we teach them in church, in school, and anything. So the only way to do that is create a family tech covenant. A covenant, we'll look at it as set of rules on how you use technology in your home. For example, research says that a child or an adult who watches towards bed, most likely you will fail to get sleep because there is a hormone called melatonin. That hormone is responsible for scheduling your sleep time. It is affected by blue screen. The more you watch the blue screen, the more it releases excess. Actually, it limits its release, and that distorts your sleep pattern even when you're tired. That's why some of your children are struggling to have sleep because of you don't have rules. Some of you, your children have told us that they watch from their homes and from their own rooms. You don't have tech zones. So if I'm a child and I'm a boy, I'm a teenager, 11, 12, I'm interested in sexual experiences, my body is changing. How will I avoid the temptation of watching the pornography? How? How will I avoid sending and sharing semi-nude photos to my boyfriend in illusion? So it's important to create rules, set time limits, homework boundaries, content filters, how long your child spends on phone, whom they interact with, whom they watch. There is an age where you can do it. Mostly below 10 years and 12 years, you have full control to do that. But it's more important that when you're doing that, you also share why you're doing it. The problem, most of you enforce these rules, but you don't share the why. Now, kids look at it as a punishment rather than a way to protect them. Then also emphasize that AI and tech is just a tool, not a moral authority and a surrogate caregiver. For you mothers, you're giving these kids these phones thinking you're just distracting them to finish your work. You're doing more harm. You're not going to deal with addiction when a kid has been exposed to addiction, even before age of 1 or 2. Set boundaries and monitors. Yes, there are parental control tools, family link, screen time, DAB. I've shared resources at the end where you can actually control. For those with kids who are strong-headed, you can use parental controls. I always put parental controls as a second tool, but also parental controls help you to monitor and see what they watch, the content they watch. So it's also good. It might not be only on controlling how long they watch, but also understanding their experiences. Then stay informed. No one is going to bring or introduce a lesson to teach you every now and then on how to learn technology and how it impacts emotionally, physically, your life. Because the honest truth is it changes every day. Even me after here, I will go and learn something new about technology and it impacts your family. So it's important to stay informed. Get these Google links. Ask others, where can I learn, for example, how to put Google Family Link in my phone? Key tip is that these tools need a master control. They are not directly put on the kid's phone. They must be put on your master control phone, and then the other ones are slaves. They pick and control from there. Be proactive, like what we are doing here. I'm thankful to Family Life Network and its subscribers. This is proactiveness, wanting to know what's a danger, what does AI take us, what does technology bring to us. But I encourage you, be more proactive. In schools, if you are a head teacher here, call these people, talk to these children. If you are parents, get groups, learn what your daughters are going through with social media and your kids in public spaces. Then advocate for policies in Uganda for digital children. I saw Ministry of Education saying it's on the stage of creating a policy to allow phones in schools. I would boldly tell you that that's a wrong move, and I will show you why at the end of these slides. But we need to be more proactive. Other nations have put up all policies and laws to protect children from this digital AI and tech effects. What is Uganda doing? We don't have an independent law to safeguard the children, but we can be parents and proactive advocates that can go in and push for this as private members' bills. Advocate for digital, positive digital roles. Like I said, parents, you're driving school, your child, and you're on TikTok. What do you expect your child to do? When you tell them stop being on screen, but you can't stop being on screen on your phone while you're driving them to school or to their parents, you're ever on it. You're already showing a wrong model. I said technology profiles your interests. If you're a parent and watching adult content is okay with you, then don't share your phone or device with your child, because the moment they go on YouTube, they'll bring you your pornographic movies, and that's what they will show. The same applies on TikTok, on X, because these programs are AI-powered to profile your interests. So after watching that movie that you've recommended, the next video they will share is not what your child has been watching, it's what you watch as a parent. So be really responsible in even sharing devices. If possible, don't share. Buy their devices, their own devices, then link them to your own device so that you can set up controls to them. Encourage open communication, very, very, very important. Mostly if you have kids, start it early, but if you have kids between 8 and 14 years, it's very hard for you to say that you're going to do parental controls on a 14-year-old kid. Literally, your role as a parent is to mold and groom this child to be a responsible citizen, making their own choices, but believing they are good choices. So if at 14, 16, you're having a kid, and the problem is that's when they are more addicted to these screens and WhatsApp and social media and TikTok. If you are a parent at that time, you should be very able to communicate and discuss their experiences without fear that they're going to be punished, but to mold them and understand the danger, the digital footprint. A young girl sharing her nude photos or semi-nude photos with a boy, this is a photo and privacy gone forever. So it's important you engage and talk. If you came to me and asked me, Owen, what can I do with my 15-year-old on their phone? I will simply tell you, take away the phone. But that won't be a solution. But the right thing is that molding should have been done much earlier for them to understand the danger. But at least when you communicate to them, then the other tip is that for communication, you want to do it one-on-one. There's a time when it will fail. Call it informal. Get a group of girls as parents, go out on a KFC or whatever, and ask them, not only your child, along the way you'll call in another expert, Merova, share these experiences. That way it might be much better than having a one-on-one always, because as a child, I've learned they talk more in the group with strangers than their parents with fear of punishment. Then critical thinking, very important for any child who is going to grow into a responsible native citizen. If a child can't differentiate between misinformation and right information, manipulation and scam, wrong contact and good friends on internet, it's going to be trouble for them in 10 years to come. So it's important we go back to how do we embed critical thinking. And this comes in conversations, the games they play, take them back to the physical activities. Then advocate for digital citizenship. Yes, you have the capacity to do this in your homes, in your places of worship, in wherever you are, because you're not the only one impacted. Then the other thing is that is not written here, but you must do it, is bring back physical activities at home. When your child is home, the only way you can reduce on their screen time is be intentional to give them physical work to do. Let them work on dishes, let them play with their friends, let them even just sleep, but they get off that screen as much as they can. I talked to you of the legal. What you look at here is Kids Online Safety Act. This is in US. We're talking of kids here in Uganda. We're saying kids should go back with their phones after the policy has been put up. Now, the countries that enabled that earlier, like US, are going back to say, no, we don't need this. This Kids Online Safety Act is going back to make sure that kids don't have phones in schools. They are off social media. Parents have their consent below age of 14 or 16. There are so many other things that come up. This is US. It was passed last year. Now, it's at that stage, of course, where it comes into law. Now that is US. For us, Uganda, we're saying it's all okay. These people have seen already the danger of what social media and technology is doing, and they need to protect their kids. There is also, I saw an AI Paris, I've forgotten the way it is, but there's another law that is being put up, a bill to protect children from AI. Here across the border, Rwanda has a Rwanda child online protection policy that is putting up to make sure that our children are safe. Here in Australia, they passed that a kid to be on social media must be above 16 years. You in your home, you're telling your daughter it's okay because it improves content creation to be on TikTok at 8, at 7. Don't you think Australia has seen more on the harm of technology than you in Uganda? So it's important to understand where we are going. And as a nation, if there are parliamentarians here, take those steps to make sure that we have these laws in. Quickly, there are already existing programs on digital citizenship. Like I know Family TV has a Safe Screen, Safe Kids program that is supposed to run for 5 years. Support them, encourage them, call them to their schools, let them talk to these people, contribute to the digital citizenship journey. If we do this, then we have a holistic way of trying to do this. And you might be wondering, me, I'm a lawyer, how do I come in here? Let me show you something. Digital citizenship and what your role could be is, it's about around 9 elements. Digital access, yes, let your child access technology and internet, but how do you make sure you advocate for policies to bridge the divide? Let the accessibility be there. Like I said, if we don't prepare our children for AI, technology-driven future, then your child will miss out on the opportunities that come with it. But how do you protect the data? Digital literacy, can you take these online courses? Can you get people to teach parents and children on how to thrive on internet? And issues of misinformation, issues like what we are talking about today. Digital etiquette, can we embed morals into day-to-day use of technology and social media behavior? Digital privacy and safety, educate about what we lose, information, how do we protect it? You have something that you can play, you and me, commerce. How do you sign up? How do you shop to make sure that your cards are not into digital privacy and safety issues? You are a lawyer, you are a policymaker, digital law. We have laws to protect copyright, protect our children and all that. Digital rights and responsibility, what rights are there? We've seen photos of people. I always say a story of this girl who was almost defiled by a teacher during holiday. And before the news was out, the photos of a young girl were also out. Question is, who is protecting? Do people even know that these young people have rights for their faces not to be shown in some content? Digital health and well-being, what are the physical and wellness that we need to do? Sleep time, depression, anxiety, fear of missing out, social approvals that are affecting our young girls. All these things need to be taken. So there is somewhere where you can mention 1 or 2, digital communication and all that. Now, these are some of the resources. I would encourage you. There's a YouTube channel called Back. This Back channel has so many videos and contents, even practical ones, how to be on Google, Family Link, set up your phone. Things like most of the questions that most of you ask me, but they can only be explained in physical or even play of these tools. Practical ways on how to, for example, install these control on your phones and gadgets and all that. All these videos are in there. They also have real life stories of where parents have shared suicidal elements, how to look at anxiety, there are many. I would encourage you to go on their YouTube channel and find out. The other things, in your phone, you must be having these parental control apps. At least it will help you to know and establish ground rules because you can control them. You will manage secure your child account. You'll be knowing what they see, at what time, control even what they shouldn't see. And then you can connect even when your child is not home and they have a phone, you'll be knowing what they're using it for. The problem is one parent does it, but the child is with the other kids where the parent doesn't care. What they've done here when they reach this side, totally gone. That said, I hope every parent becomes more intentional in training their children in family values, learning to implement strategies to ensure children's safety in front of screens. I also trust that our policymakers will enact strong measures to safeguard the digital citizens, especially our children, and educators, those who are going to school, the head teachers, champion these things in every classroom. Talk about these issues with your children, and also bring their parents during those parent seminars days, parents day or whatever speech days. Talk about these issues. Then I also pray faith communities, family life network, churches. Talk these things on the pulpit. Let the gospel be beyond, even biblically, these things are there, but let it be more to things they are facing. Call us, call the Tamas, let them come and teach parents and children these values within your spheres of influence. Then I know the other hurdle is the media and content creators and tech companies. These are so commercial, but there might be some conscious ones, at least to be mindful not to play Okwe pictures as early as 8 a.m. on a screen. At least I know Family TV doesn't. I know some other TVs that cannot do that spirit. So, but I just pray that everyone in the ecosystem does their part, because without a multi-stakeholder approach, we cannot win this game. But most of you as a parent, take time, learn. Technology moves at a very fast speed, and without it, we are going. Then lastly, it's very important to understand the only way to safeguard your child is to embed family values, Christian values at a very early stage. That when tomorrow they watch this game that I was talking about, that draft that I played, they will know that does not align with our family values, does not align with the values my parents put in me at a young age. That way, you will not be so worried. Teach the children resiliency. Let them be out there. Let them engage back into play-based learning and parenting. Then let us be intentional to reduce on the screen time. That way, the screen and the AI will remain a servant, not a master. That way, families stand firm in Christ's love and truth amidst uncertainties of tomorrow's technology. But always remember, train up your child in the way they should go. Even when he is old, he will not part from it. Even when technology comes, the values control their minds. May God bless you.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you very much, Owen Mwesigye, for the well-articulated presentation, and the team and the members really online are very, very grateful for this vast knowledge and deep thinking. They're saying it's very profound, very deep and practical. They have learned a lot, and thank you for enlightening and giving them a clue and lots of items and solutions towards what can be done. Really, they're extremely grateful. Thank you so much, Owen. Maybe I just want to find out, Joyce, are you there? Joyce, are you there? Yes, Joyce Ahumuza, you're there. So before we get to our questions, comments concerning this very important discussion, I would want to invite Joyce and give her a few minutes to give us her testimony, and thereafter we will proceed on. Joyce, kindly go ahead and unmute. The floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. I hope I can be heard. I am so sorry. I thought the testimony would happen at the start. So now I have some little members with me, but I will try to be louder than them and be also as audible as I can. I am Humuza Joyce. I am married to Godman Kamana Sasira, and we have been married for 4 years now. We have been blessed with 2 girls, 2 years and 1 year, and we thank God for that. I also thank God for this opportunity to give a brief testimony of my experience with the creative parenting course, which I was part of last year from around August to October. We did 2 modules, and it was a very good opportunity. So for starters, how did I hear about the course? It was also during one of the parent seminars, one of the free parent seminars, just like this one. I think it was Martha Ainamujisha who came on to give her testimony about having attended the class a few years ago and how impactful it was. So I decided that this was something that was going to be very beneficial for me, but also right from childhood, really. I am an only girl. I have 2 brothers, just in between them, and I grew up in an extended family, so we had quite a number of cousins over, but most of them were boys. So the conversations that I grew up around were mostly boy related, you know. Girls are dramatic, girls have so much drama, what's wrong with girls? And so for high school, by God's grace, I joined Gayaza High School, and I interact with girls, and I get to see the drama that boys are always complaining about back home. You know, when girls are on their periods, how they act, when girls cannot make good friends, girls. So I grew up with a certain bias towards girls generally. And fast forward, I have my first baby at 26, and it's a girl. And that shook my world, because suddenly now I was faced with the challenge of so you managed to go through all these earlier stages of, oh, girls are this, girls are that. You survived that, and now you have to have them in your life, whether you like it or not. And so for me, I received all this with a lot of fear and anxiety, because I was just thinking, what am I going to do? You know, I have not been around girls. The little I have been exposed to is the drama and all the bad PR that they face out there. So there's a lot of anxiety, you know. The few people I tried to talk to kept telling me, you have girls, you have a girl, start praying, start praying. So I was hungry for knowledge, you know, how do you raise a girl? How do you handle the things that come with raising a girl? Because I believe it should start from the start, the very beginning, before any mistakes are made and things like that. So I went out on a quest for knowledge, just counter the anxiety. And around that same time, I told you I have 2 girls. One is 2, the other one is 1. I get pregnant again, and it's a girl. So now the anxiety was times 2, and I felt like I was running out of time, you know. I was out there looking for, you know, knowledge, tools, whatever it is I could come across that would help ease the journey, would give me the right information, the right knowledge. And I come across the free parenting seminars. I attended quite a number, and I realized this is something that, you know, when you're equipped with knowledge, there's that Bible verse I like. I think it's Proverbs 4:7. I'm not so sure. The one that talks about, if you do anything, get knowledge. If anything, get knowledge. If anything, get wisdom. So I invested in a lot of literature. I invested in finding the right group to equip me with knowledge and things like that. So that's how I came across the parent seminars, and I heard about the creative parenting course. And for me, I couldn't think twice about it, because I felt like this is my chance to change how things have been done in the past, and to leave a good impact, first on my children, on my family, and then to the rest of the world. So I joined the class, and oh my God, first of all, the fact that it is Bible-centered. It is the truth. It's not people's opinions. It's not, oh, we raised children and for us we did it like this and it turned out like, no, everything is backed up by scripture. Everything is backed up by God's word, and that was so comforting because finally I had found something that had some best in it, you know. And the first module, it was basically about us. Nothing to do with, a lot to do with parenting, yes, but just how much of you as a person impacts your parenting. So we had a lot of retrospective work to do, you know, your life as a wife, your life as a daughter when you are still young, your life as a friend, your life as what exactly is it that you have within you that is going to impact how you're finally going to parent your child. And so it unraveled a lot for me personally, and the few classes that my husband got to attend and the discussions we had together, it was very, very impactful. So I would recommend that if anything, get that wisdom, if anything, get that knowledge, you know, while you still can make a difference, rather than waiting for that time when it's just panic, you know, you realize that you have run out of time and now you are running on a low battery, and that alone can expose you to just about anything. You know, you're because you're very anxious. You will be exposed to any kind of information, wrong, right? There are so many people sprouting now. You know, now that people have realized that there is a very big gap in parenting, everyone seems to have a solution. The internet, like we have just learned now, and there are so many tools that are out there that would easily negatively impact your journey as a parent. So I would encourage you as early as you can, even when your children have already become adults, you know, you are also taken through those stages where now you are a grandparent and these children are bringing your grandchildren to you. You know, how can you help them to do a better job? How can you, because I think there was a module where we were taken through, I don't remember what exactly, but I remember Elder Langa telling us how the Bible verse about going back to the ancient stories, you know, being able to help your children see where the mistakes were made and how you can both correct them. And so it's not late for anyone at all, anyone really. I even recommended it for my mother because she is exposed to so many children in her care. So just going back to undo the mistakes and work together with your partner, with your children, make the journey easier and better, really, to equip you better. Because you know, when you sit in such a free seminar and you hear about the impact of the internet, you will panic because the internet is here and it's here to stay. So having that knowledge, I feel like eases the anxiety and lets you know how much power you have and how much control the Lord has given you by just giving you the permission to steward a generation for Him. You know, so when you realize that much power that you have within you, and you're equipped with the right knowledge, you will be unstoppable as a parent. And I would also recommend attending it with your spouse. Very, very impactful. Your conversations alone, the discussions you have after that, it's just a very wonderful experience, really. Very small fee to pay for the amount of value that you get from the class. So I would highly, highly recommend the class for anyone on the call that has not attended it. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Joyce, you're very, very right and spot on to all of us parents. Alex posted and sent us the link where we can register. Christine, do you want to kindly mute? Okay, Alex sent us the link where we can all register, and our sessions are on again we are yet to begin in March. Registration is ongoing. So March to April, we'll have the first semester. Then May to June, we'll have the second semester. These are online user-friendly courses. I equally joined, and I will tell you, it's mind-changing. I would honestly advise you to keep retooling and retooling, even if you've attended every year, at least attend once. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself such that you become better parents that have values, morals, and character to change our world. Wonderful. So, good ones, we are back to our question and answer sessions. Yes, would want to invite one with the name unlicensed room to kindly unmute and please ask us a question, as I will quickly pick through a number of questions that we had and bring them up to Owen for us to articulate and discuss. Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Yes, please, your names and your question.
This is Patrick Mukaya. I'm a pastor in one of the churches in Nairobi, Kenya. The question that I have, is there a way on how we can introduce this forum to maybe our gatherings, especially churches and learning institutions, so that we can also be able to get more parents coming in, especially those parents who have children or young ones in these learning institutions and places of worship. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Patrick. We have picked that one up. Okay, any other person who would want to be given an opportunity to be able to unmute? But as you do that, I also want to pose to you, Owen, a question that came through here. So how do you take a teenager on a recovery journey when she has been addicted to bad movies? How do you take a teenager on a recovery journey when she has been addicted to bad movies? Patrick, have you picked that question? Okay, yes, we are requesting for the notes. These will be shared and the recording, and there is a link for you to be able to join a platform. We have the online platform that you can be able to join, and thereafter all recordings are shared, material are shared for us parents to always keep informed, and even suggestion of more topics that you can be able to have here as well. Okay, Hannah has a question here and says, Owen, thank you for the presentation. Lately, there has been a lot of work pressure or study pressure on parents, leading to their resorting to digital entertainment to occupy the children. One would expect that with improvements in technology and innovation, this should lessen the pressure on parents in terms of the long working hours, but it doesn't seem so. So how can this area be navigated so that parents are able to spend more time in their homes and interact more with children? That is especially with a play-based parenting. So, Owen, do you want to also look into Hannah's question? The question is right here. So how can this area of spending more time with the children be navigated, that parents can spend more time in their homes and interact more with the children than abandoning them with the gadgets to do the mentorship? Okay, Alex is informing us that yes, there will always be a free Zoom orientation for the creative parenting course on every Sunday. On this coming Sunday 9th, no, the second week of March, that is 9th of March at 4 p.m. So kindly do log in, as classes will commence on 12th of March. I'm telling you, your life will never be the same again. Okay, Patrick, do you want to kindly, not Patrick, Owen, do you want to kindly handle those questions as we get more comments? Thank you very much and questions.
Thank you so much.
I encourage us to please use the chat room kindly so that we can be able to maximize our time. Over to you, Owen.
One, how can churches, schools be part of the digital citizenship advocacy journey? Yes, last year, I think we did I personally participated in over 24 visits to schools, and one was done to church, like physical. Others were about 6 were virtual. Also, we did some on TV with Madame Tama, Sembiro. So the thing is that through a multi-stakeholder approach, it is very possible to know. For example, you have a church in Nairobi. I'm sure within Nairobi, or even there would be a digital citizenship advocate or an expert in this very field. So it's all about the people responsible for opening those gates be proactive. Because we also face challenges where some schools, we even wrote to them to go and they refused. So it's about the leadership in different spheres of influence, churches, schools, understanding the need to start addressing this as early as possible. And once these schools are opened, the gates are opened, I believe beyond Owen, there are many others that I've found that are very passionate about this very subject. And inviting, I'm sure, will make it there. So it is already being done. And if only the leadership and us as parents use our influence in these spheres to make sure that these platforms are opened. The beauty about it is that they are communities. So you find many people in one loop, one gap, and share. Also, they give you a chance to interface for physical. Like I've told you, you get so marvelous things when you interact with these kids. We get to know how much we are doing a wrong job at parenting in the digital age. But even some of us who are champions of digital citizenship, we get to know that every day is a learning day. So let the leadership understand the need to start this journey as early as possible across the spheres. Like I said, we can't only do it as individuals. It has to be everyone has a role to play. A parent has a proactive role to play as a parent, as a key to that. Basically, the parenting mantle was given to you as a role and a responsibility. A sibling, because for example, if I find social media, most of the kids with accounts were opened by their elder brothers, cousins, of these social media accounts. When you parents don't even have an idea that they have them. So when they go back to schools, they open these platforms. So everyone has a role to play, from educators to pastors, to churches, to forums like these ones. So yes, we are open, we are available to do what God called us to do in this era and age. On addiction recovery, one is to understand the interests of your daughter or son. If your daughter is interests beyond, and you can tell from the movies they watch, that is one way. But you can also, if it's where the impact or the effects are beyond your understanding, I always recommend get an expert in terms of counseling and guidance. But one way to find out on these effects of addiction is something that we call the addiction scale. Addiction scale comes with different questions that you ask a victim. Find out how much they're addicted, how much addicted or less addicted they are to these different things. For example, withdrawal of gadgets, how does it make them? Do they shout? Do they react like that video we saw? Or they don't mind and they follow? Then you know yourself, if they are in those parts where they can control their impulse, how they react, they're already on the extremes. Do they skip meals, skip social gatherings? Do these movies, have they manifested in her everyday lifestyle? Has it affected their personal behaviors, how they take life and things like that? When they've reached at that level, it's good and always important to look for an expert level, because these are years and long hours of impact. However, there are things you can do even before the expert comes in. One is detoxification. Digital detoxification is one easy way that you reduce on the exposure on how they watch. If, for example, you had a covenant, take covenant in your home, you tell them that for me, you only watch one movie. It might not be easy for them, but they're still under your house. So if you can come with rules on access to devices for how long, it can be one way to reduce. But the other bit is also finding alternative interests. If beyond screen time, what else do they do? Do they love novels? Do they love chatting with their friends physically? Do they love playing webinar? Do they love, what is that interest beyond the time they are watching movies? And once you've found out that, then create a plan, be intentional in creating a plan where they are actively also involved. Talk to them about this very issue and the issues that might come as an outcome of watching these movies. Now, together, create a plan or recovery plan that involves detoxification, reducing on the time, that is the detox, reducing on the time they spend, but you don't reduce the time and don't replace it with something. So find out what else do they like doing besides the screen, increase the time of that the best alternative to replace the time they have spent on screen. Then the other way is these children seminars, active participatory seminars are very also important. They create a way, they take away, it introduces a whole new perspective to them beyond a parent-daughter role. They get to see the meaning in these seminars, what they are teaching, what they are learning, church groups. They get the meaning from the parenting and restrictive way to something that is even done by others. So the approach also comes in. When you fail, you find that there is resistance between parent-daughter, introduce group things. I know parents recently that called me this very holiday to somewhere in Mukono, Balala. They have these groups of kids every long holiday. They call them for a retreat, call an expert, talk to them about something else. So those are some of those practical things. But key thing, you must be having knowledge about what your daughter likes beyond the movie, so that that is looked at as a perfect substitute as you do the detoxification period. And also be honest to them. They don't look at it as a punishment, but look at it as a way to support and protect them from the impact of these movies that they're looking at. Then also the other bit is, as parents, there's a loophole somewhere where we watch movies that are clearly content rated. You see PG 16, parental guidance 16, 18. But we comfortably watch these movies with our 4-year-old, 6-year-old, and we expect them to make choices of better movies when we are not there. That won't happen. it's important that we take note of these things, because when they say a movie is page rate PG 18, it clearly shows there is sex, violence, nudity, strong language, clearly put there. And you call your kiddies there, it's afternoon, after lunch, you sit with them, 8 years, watch a whole 2-hour movie full of this nudity, adult content, and you expect them not to watch it when you're not there. It can't happen. So it's also important that before the age, during the upbringing, we model responsible content consumption, mostly in presence of our kids. It's very important. So along the way, the journey, also don't expect it to be spontaneous. It's very important that you recover is a process. The impact, by the time you see the impact of addiction, most probably they say the victim has consumed it for over years. So the effect in terms of recovery cannot be instant. And that comes in even when you're trying to detox social media to get your kids off TikTok and all that. You have to be patient. These kids have consumed years of TikTok. It's part of their lifestyle. It can't happen in one day. So you have to be proactive, be patient, ask for wisdom, introduce them to other activities away from screens. And trust me, they will find fun. The only problem I have lately is that mostly city-dwelling parents, like I said, we closed all the other doors to physical interaction with other communities physically and opened millions of virtual doors. That has no solution for you. Open your gates, choose who these kids can like, have time when they can physically be with, let them play, their children. Their energy need to be utilized in a physical way, not a surface way. So that way you create other alternatives. On work-family balance, I would want to believe that we are working in a very capitalistic economy where outputs are a measure to what we earn, jobs are at a risk. AI comes in to improve our productivity, effectiveness. But there's also one other thing that we must learn along the way, that beyond work, there's only one firm foundation where you'll find your safety, and that is family. And once family is distorted, I'm 100% sure, because I've had a personal testimony where family gets distorted at a personal level, and it affected over 7 years of my productivity. So, and yet when I was at work and all that, I was as active as I can be. But once family goes into a broken one, trust me, your job will be as meaningless as it can ever be. Some of those work-family balance strategies are fully personal initiated. It's a personal drive to say, I will work in this. And the funny thing about our capitalistic economy, what we tell our bosses is that we are capable of doing, they will always expect us to do it that way. I believe out there is a respectable and way where we can come to align with organizations that employ us, to understand that for me to be most productive, I need to be best at a family level. The problem is that when that is given, also the little time we have with our children, we still take it to family gatherings, bars, soccer matches, and we forget girl out trips, and we forget the children. So even the little time that is left with us to be with family, we are also not intentional with it. So I find it that let's have also, like we have our limits, have limits with work. I'm our colleague, but the time I choose to have with my kids, I even inform my boss, my phone will be off. like, I'm honest. I talk to them. It's family time. I've taken a holiday and it's for my family. So my immediate is this one. So I think it takes us being more proactive in a respectful way. Some bosses will never understand, but at the end of the day, I'm telling you the truth. As someone who has gone through this, 100%, once your family breaks, trust me, your job will be meaningless. So it's more of a personal initiative and proactiveness than
Thank you.
any other bit.
Okay, so Owen, thank you very much. We had some comments here from Anne, and Anne was reminding us of a story that's told of a young boy who learned a lot at the international school, especially on how hackers get into someone's account. And so the boy started practicing what he was learning, monkey see, monkey do. So the boy got into the dad's bank account online, and so far he had stolen over 10 million shillings from his account. He's so addicted to this and keeps finding ways of doing it over and over again. However, definitely over time, he learned about it and he had to change the passwords and maybe 2-way or 3-way authentications to see how to block these children. So that's very, very informative. Thank you again. Thank you very much. Yes, Juliet had a comment here in light of what we were saying as well. And Juliet was advising us that, yes, truly, she would suggest that parents with children stick to employers on contractual hours and restrict work-related social media interaction after work hours. Then think of creative, meaningful ways to present and engage the children even further at home, just as Owen has said that no one can ever replace your family. That is
Sorry,
very...
I might
Yes,
forget
Owen?
this. In that busy schedule, instead of having devices as their play, introduce board games in your home. There are many things that are interactive your kids can find their free time to engage with than a screen. So provide alternatives to the screen in your home, even when you're busy. That's if at all you can't avoid it. There are chess games, but you put the apps on the phone, on the tabs. Buy physical ones. They are even cheaper. So buy the physical ones, let them be the alternative. That way, your child will still remain productive and all-round growth, brain growth than just on the screen.
Okay, there's a question here. So thank you for that topic. Our main issue with teenagers is that they spend most of their time in their rooms with their gadgets. So how can we as parents encourage them to sit with a family? They always claim that they want rest because they had hectic boarding school life, like waking up at 4 a.m., learning the whole day and sleeping late. Thank you very much. So kindly pick up on that. At least just give a few tips. I'm still asking a few more.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, the others were asking about how could they join the mentorship and issues like that. Yes, Andrew is saying that, interestingly, both American and British television associations require that parents watch TV with their children as a way to help them debrief and desensitize to any sensitive content they would have seen. Yes, thank you very much, Andrew. And definitely on our own, we just can't abandon the children. Some strict rules need to be put in place. Yes, Owen, go ahead and handle that question as we get winding up. Again, parents, there's still some room for any one question at least before we wind up our program. Yes, take it over, Owen.
Let's, on that very question, it's really intriguing. One, these kids are in your home, the room is your house, and they're your kids. At times, it's important to not be parented by the kids you are mandated to parent. There is a need to mix some tough parenting and soft parenting. The being wise as a serpent and as humble as a dove. The gadgets are the gadgets you've bought for them, and you still have control over them. Kids naturally might not easily pick that. There are some things they will not easily pick up. Like I said, research has it 100% that they prefer watching in bedrooms because of one reason. They don't want you to know what they're watching. If they know you know what they're watching, you will not actually, you will withdraw the gadgets. They've told me this in the schools we've gone to, and that's the truth. And they will create all lies. Why? So simple. One, part of your rules say you're not watching from this home, from your bedrooms. Bedrooms are for bed, for resting. So withdraw gadgets from bedrooms. That is one simple rule that I can put up. They might not easily welcome it, but along the way, you know the reason why, and communicate the reason. So that when you choose, for example, to do curfews or take curfews on them, they know what they've broken. But in here, let's not give the mandates to our children to dictate on what should be done and where they should watch. It's as I don't want to massage it any better, but let the parents do the parenting. At some time, it will call for you to be a little tougher. So in your family covenant, create that bit of where your parent, you have your rules and they won't be broken. If they are broken, these are the strict penalties. And also when you've done that, provide those alternatives. And if the alternatives are done, I don't know whether Tama is still in here and active. She would have actually given us the best tip on this because her children have interacted with gadgets all their lives. But her child told us, well, I think I should even have that link of where we're on TV and the child giving the testimony. So it's give that tough love, do that role as a parent. If they can get it, good. If they can't, put up the penalties to it. It's your home, it's your house, they are your rules. Until to that age when you think, by now you've done your part, let them go to adulthood and explore their choices. Thank you.
All right. Owen, thank you very much. Yes, Tama, are you there? Do you want to take it on briefly? As Pastor Patrick packages another question. Tama, do you want to kindly unmute?
Hello, I'm sorry, I'm in transit, taking back children to school, so there is noise in the car. But yes, as Owen has shared, all my children have gadgets. They've had them for a long time. In our home, we have rules and regulations. We sit together and agree on how to use these gadgets. But the best thing we can do also is we shall share the TV program that we had and talked in depth. And one of the children, our youngest, who is 15, shared his experience with the gadgets. So we shall share that. Owen, you will help me, and we share the link to that recording of what we shared in depth about managing gadgets and also managing screen time. Otherwise, thank you very much for the insightful presentation you have given us. Good. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tama. That was spot on. We await the link. And please subscribe to the different links we've mentioned. Information will always be shared there as well. And I would still encourage you, please, you're here, you are parents, share with your friends, share with your family, with your workmates, join our online CPC training. They have full sessions on how to train teenagers. I'm telling you, they'll give you that whole wide range from training a child all the way from 0 age all the way to being a grandparent. So CPC is something that we all need, and every year it unfolds with new style. You need retooling. So enroll as often as you can to get this information. Yes, Pastor Patrick, we would want to give you a minute to please ask your question as we get to wind up. Over to you, Patrick. Kindly unmute. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm really excited at the discussion that we have listened to. Now, I just felt like saying this. Most of our children, as you have said, we should start training them as early as 0 age. And with the system, the kind of the system of education that we have, sometimes permits us to leave the gadgets or give these gadgets to our children, but most of our parents, especially the young parents who maybe never got an opportunity to go through the whole system of education, don't know exactly how they can control the use of these gadgets by these young children. Now, I don't know whether in the current system of education, especially this one we have in Kenya here, can permit that even the young parents who are who actually didn't get an opportunity of getting the information how to control the gadgets, parental controls on these gadgets, how it can come in maybe through an intervention so that all the morals can be taken off well by the young generation. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you very much, Pastor, for the additional advice as well. Yes, Owen, I wanted to put one of the records right about the policy about the Ministry of Education that came out in September, specifically on 9th of September, that was grossly misunderstood. I've shared the copy, and I'm also still sharing it here because, again, as we said, knowledge is power. They were clarifying about mobile digital devices in Uganda. For all these years, I will tell you, because I'm a professor in computing and also do lecture with Makerere University in the School of Computing, we have done a lot of research in digital transformation and also how ICT can help improving literacy levels within schools. However, as a country, we had never had a digital agenda strategy that guides how it's supposed to be done in education. I'll tell you, it was always embarrassing. In all East African, all South and Central African, the whole of Africa, honestly, I'll tell you, globally, we were a laughing stock. We never ever had an agenda item, even a policy that was actually allowing our students to formally do the teaching and learning online, to allow them even study Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, the extreme basics. You needed to have a policy to do this. Every conference, they were always bashing us. You don't have this. All the others are moving. So when this came into place, please, let's not be the ones who are shooting it down. To make it very clear, as you see, they talk about the teaching and learning on computers only and laptops. Nothing about mobile phone, gadgets, tablets. Nothing is allowed like that in the school premises. So please let us get this knowledge and information. I've shared the link and they have sent clarity on. It's as a country that we need the digitalization to go on, but we cannot delegate our mandate to the gadgets. That is very clear. But for us to have a policy that allows us to handle the teaching and learning online, This policy can now, because we have this strategy, we can fully go on with our learning management systems. We can go on with e-learning platforms, have all masters go online, have as many MOOCs for those who have had them in all schools of Uganda. So it's a right step in the right direction. So misinterpreting something like this is very important to get the right full wordings so that it is fully backed up. I felt this was very important, especially that as a board member of NITA Uganda, I have that mandate to refocus and also guide our discussions. So as parents, let's still go ahead and do our training and spend time with family, see how we can train our children. And it's a sacrifice. Honestly, it's a sacrifice having children. We prayed to God for them, and there is no way we can delegate and hand them over to the internet to kill them, but allow the policies to work, just like the e-transactions policy that the country has, to allow us to carry out online transactions. Policies are extremely very key and important. Something again about data privacy policies. Yes, in 2019, the policy was passed at the Ministry of Vice National Guidance about the data protection and privacy policy. And they are very stringent, still very thin on ground, but they are forever taking on people to court and charging them now. And by the way, for your information, for those who didn't know, the computer online policy that was there in 2011 was since amended in 2022, and the courts of law are actually charging people. Do you remember that contentious issue where they're saying withdraw it? No, it was fully approved, and if you're caught sharing content that's inappropriate and you follow the forensic mechanisms and telling you, they take you on to court. So be very careful, because the watchdogs are on, and we need to support small baby footsteps. All right, a lot has been said, and at this point in time, would want to have some last parting shots from Owen, and also invite Patrick to have our announcements. We'll open and say our last closing prayer. And thank you so much for really being patient, going on all the way till 6:30. We are learning together, and we are getting better and stronger together. Over to you, Owen, in 1 minute, your parting shots, and we wind up our today's program. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Annabella. Also for record straight, I'm not against the policy, but I was glad when the clarification came that the implementation of integration of mobile tools would come only after the policy has been put up and reviewed. So I'm always in for digital integration, and I'll always be a champion for it, but being mindful of the handy devices. And I'm glad from the what you've shared, the handheld devices are not part of that, as was communicated all over. Thank you so much for that clarification. So all by and large is that our struggles are well interweaved into the benefits that come with technology and IT and AI. And it's good to put in mind that we are not going back into the industrialization age. We are into a whole new age, and the world is going that way. The earlier we embrace the benefits positively, but also being conscious of the negatives is also as important as embracing the benefits. On the policies, I was still glad that I've known where you sit. Also push for a policy fully centered on children, not generalized. Most countries have those general policies, but we need proper laws to get the young minds, because they are more vulnerable and their challenges online and with technology are different from the challenges old minds have. So my appeal and call is for more policies that are centered to young minds. It's even a recommendation from UCC in their 2020 online survey about the Ugandan online child. That said, parents, your role remains train your child in a way that they should go, that when they grow up, they may not part from it. That is true and is possible if we embed our family values, our Christian values in our kids' way of life. But also us as old, know that technology is also up for us. Let's engage in digital literacy, learn as much as you can, at least set an hour every week to learn something new about technology and how it impacts your personal life and the family. That way, in the next 30 days, you'll have 30 hours that you've invested in technology and learning how it can impact your life better. With that, I'm sure and 100% that in the next few years, as technology gets grip, we'll also be grounded on how to deal with it as better parents and as better children. May God bless you, and can't wait for any other avenues where we can share much about digital citizenship. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much, Owen. And that was extremely, very, very informative at all levels. Yes, over to you, Alex, to re-emphasize all these links, and then we will unmute for our word of prayer. Alex, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Thank you so much for the very informative and insightful presentation. Indeed, that as parents, we have learned a lot, and we look forward to applying. Yes, as an emphasis, we encourage parents here to join the Parents Forum. We have a Parents WhatsApp chat where we meet and we ask questions, and some are judges, some are grandparents. So with the young one, we learn from one another, but it's for interaction and also it's for sharing updates and upcoming seminars. And also most of our facilitators like Owen is on the forum. So you can ask a question and he handles you directly there. So we also encourage you to register for CPC. That's the Creative Parenting course. As you heard from one testimony, you thank God later. It's very informative and it works on you as a parent, it works on your marriage. It helps you to be a good parent. It helps you to be a good citizen of your country. Another announcement is about we have the men's program coming up. We'll be announcing the dates coming in. On I think the 9th of March, we shall have a free orientation for the Creative Parenting course. We encourage you to sign up to the link we shared. That can help you to make a decision in future. Amen. I think that's all from me. We encourage you to also, there's a link we shared here. We'd like to have these seminars which are demand-based, based on the needs of the parents. So we encourage you to fill the Google form. Let us know the parenting issues that are pressing that side. And then as a team, we shall meet and analyze these suggestions and come up with the schedule for the month, for the year, okay? Please fill in those forms. And also this session is shared on it is recorded on our YouTube channel. It's called Family Life Network. So please feel free to check our YouTube channel for many like these informative seminars where you can learn and watch your children. Over to you, Anita and Annabella. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We have received several guests from all over the world. We got some from the US, some from the UK, those from Malawi, those from Kenya, from Congo, Tanzania, Uganda, from all parts of the country. And you are such a wonderful audience. May God definitely bless you. So let's kindly unmute and share in the words of the grace. And may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God,
and the
and the
fellowship of the
fellowship
Holy
of the Holy
Spirit
Spirit
be with us all
with us all,
forevermore.
now and forevermore. Amen. Bye-bye, and thank you so much.
And
Please
thank you so much. Bless you.
Bye-bye.
join the bank, use the links. Please take note, Tama already shared the link of the talk they had with Owen and how to handle